Hey y'all, it's Megan from Made for Mermaids, and today I'm just going to show you quickly how to do a blanket stitch. This is for our little free Alphabet Felt Ornaments, and we do have some more ornaments on the blog, or you could use a blanket stitch on napkins, all sorts of stuff. So what you need is an embroidery needle. You don't necessarily need this, it's just easier to thread because the eye is a little bit bigger. Embroidery floss, which looks like this. And I'm going to show you, the floss is quite thick, and that's because it's actually several strands of floss several strands of thread put together. So this is 6 different strands of thread, as you can see there. So what I like to do is cut a length, not too long, and then I will take about half the thread and I will split it apart. So I'm only using half or 2 pieces of the threads, and that's just so the stitching isn't so thick. If you didn't do that, you can see the stitch would be quite thick, which is okay. You can do that too. It's whatever you like. If you want something really dainty, you could just use 1 or 2 pieces of thread. And this is 3, so this is half. We're going to pretend that this is our ornament. So I'm just going to fold this in half like your 2 pieces. And when you start, you're just going to go through the first layer. And then you're going to go through the back, and you're going to try to go through that same hole. And you're going to pull until you have a little loop. And then you're going to stick your needle through the loop. Now, when you're doing the blanket stitch, you want to try your best to make them even in width and then also in spacing. But you're not a machine, so they are not going to be perfect. And that's okay. Just keep telling yourself that if you're a little bit of a perfectionist. And honestly, once it's on the tree, nobody will notice. So I've just done a few to show you, and I'll kind of walk you through. Now, how far apart you want these and how wide you want these is really just personal preference. You can do them very close together, or you can do them a little bit further apart. Same as you can do them very wide, or you can do them small. And I've seen where some people will mark on their finger evenly to help them space them out. But again, I just don't worry about it that much. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through both pieces of fabric. Again, this is where you want to try to be even this way, and then you don't want to go too far out because that'll give you a bigger stitch, or too far in. You want to try to keep it even. So you go through both layers, and you're going to pull until you just have that little loop just right at the beginning, like that, and then you will put your needle through the loop. Now when you're doing this, you can see how the floss has the several strands. The only thing you want to make sure, or one of the things you want to make sure, is that you just go under all of the thread and that you're not going through the thread, because that can cause, like that can cause a knot. So you just want to go under. That really only happens if you're going a little fast. Okay, I didn't pull tight enough, so I just used the back blunt end of my needle to pull that a little tighter. So go through both layers, pull until you have a little loop like that, and then stick your needle under the thread and pull. Mine's a little twisted. I'm probably just going to drop it for a second and let it untwist. Here we go. When I go in the corner, I kind of just move my stitch so it's right on the corner like that. And then keep going. So I'll show you this way. You go through both layers, pull until you have a little loop. Now if you accidentally pull it all the way through like this. You can just use the back end of your needle and pull it back a little bit. Then go through the loop. Keep going. If you are new to this, I suggest using a embroidery floss that matches like I did on that white one. It helps just so you won't be able to, this is a contrasting thread obviously, so you can really see if the stitches aren't even. And you just keep going. So through both, leave a loop, go under the threads and pull. Like that, and it'll look the same on both sides. Now when you get to the end of your thread where you can't go anymore, you can either tie this off and stick it inside, or actually what I like to do when I'm done, even at the very end of this ornament, is I just take my needle and I stick it through the back, just through that back layer, and I just pull it through, and then I just trim the thread here. And then I'll start a new one and I'll keep going. But I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. Just remember, if you think it looks terrible, once you put it on the tree, I'm sure it'll look fine. Nobody will notice, or on the gift or on the present. I usually make these little ornaments every year, and every year I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. But then once it's on the tree, nobody notices. If you do make them, please share them in our Facebook group and on Instagram. I would love to see. That makes me so happy. And I hope this helps. If you need any other videos, please let me know below and we'll try to make them. Thanks. Bye.